The knife is cold against her throat, not sharp enough to cut, not yet, but pressed firm enough that Elena can feel her own pulse beating against the blade. "Sign it," Marcus whispers. His breath is warm on her neck. Familiar, the same breath that used to whisper, "I love you." In the dark, the divorce papers are on the table in front of her, black ink on white paper, legal, final. But that's not what makes her hands shake. It's the second document underneath. Transfer of ownership, Belmont and Associates. Her company, her father's legacy, 10 years of her life, all of it, to him, Elena. His voice is soft now, almost gentle. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. In the corner, his lawyer shifts uncomfortably. Doesn't meet her eyes. Behind Marcus, through the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse, the city glitters like broken glass. What would you do? Everything goes dark. 5 seconds. That's all the time you have. Would you sign away everything you've built to save your own life? Or would you fight back, knowing the man you married has already proven what he's capable of?
5, 4, 3. You're probably thinking you'd fight. You're probably thinking you'd scream, run, call for help. But you don't know what it's like when the person holding the knife is the one who knows every password to your accounts. Every investor who trusts you. Every secret that could ruin you. Marcus already took her best friend, convinced her to testify that Elena embezzled funds. He already took her credibility, planted evidence of affairs she never had. He already took her mother's medical fund, transferred it the day before her surgery. The knife isn't what's killing her. It's just making sure she knows she's already dead. Elena's hand moves. The pen scratches across paper. Once. Twice. Her signature looks nothing like her anymore. "Good girl," Marcus murmurs, and kisses her temple. The knife disappears. He straightens his tie. Smiles. Looks exactly like the man she married 5 years ago. Stops. Turns back. "Oh, and Elena, if you try to fight this, Rachel's testimony won't be the only one I have. Your assistant, your CFO, even your father's old partner, they'll all say what I need them to say." The door closes. She's alone. And before you judge her for signing, before you call her weak or foolish or stupid, stay. Because what she does next, that's when the real story begins. Before we go any further, let me say this. If you're new here, and you want to understand how a woman loses everything and fights to take it all back, like this video and subscribe. Because on this channel, we tell stories about people who refuse to stay down. Stories where survival looks different than you'd expect, and sometimes costs more than you're willing to pay. And when this story ends, I want you to tell me one thing in the comments. What would you have done in her shoes? Now, let's go back. Elena Belmont, without wasting house in Manhattan, and exactly 3 hours before her life ended. She just didn't know it yet. The morning started normal. Coffee at 6 a.m. emails by 6:30. She was in her home office when Marcus appeared in the doorway. He was already dressed. Perfect suit. Perfect smile. "Morning. Want coffee?" "Already had some." "Listen, I have a lunch meeting that might run late. Don't wait up for me tonight." Elena glanced up from her laptop. "Another investor pitch?" "Something like that." He kissed her forehead. "Love you. Love you too." He left. Elena went back to her emails. Didn't notice the way his smile didn't reach his eyes. Didn't notice he took his overnight bag. Didn't notice this would be the last normal moment of her life. At 9 a.m., Elena's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. "Elena Belmont. Miss Belmont, this is Sarah from First National Bank. I'm calling about the large withdrawal from your business account this morning." Elena's coffee went cold in her hand. What withdrawal?
$500,000 was transferred to an offshore account at 6:47 a.m. We're calling to confirm this was authorized. It absolutely was not authorized. That's theft. I understand. I'm putting a hold on the account immediately and opening a fraud investigation. Do you have any idea who might have access? My husband, Marcus Volkov. He has signing authority. Silence on the other end. Ms. Belmont, the transfer was authorized with your personal credentials, your username, your password, your two-factor authentication code. Elena's stomach dropped. That's impossible. I've been at my desk all morning. Nevertheless, our system shows. Check the IP address. Where did the login come from? More silence. Then it came from your home network. Elena looked at the doorway where Marcus had stood 20 minutes ago. He must have cloned it. Months ago, probably. While she slept. I'll be at your office in 30 minutes, Elena said. She hung up, stared at her computer screen. $500,000. Gone. And Marcus had done it using her own credentials. This wasn't a mistake. This was planned. Elena didn't go to the bank. She called Marcus. Hey, babe, what's up? His voice was casual, warm, like he hadn't just stolen $500,000. Where are you? Heading into my meeting. Why? I need you to come home. Now. Elena, I can't just... Someone transferred $500,000 out of my business account this morning, using my login credentials, from our home network. Silence. Then, that's insane. Did you call the bank? I'm calling you. Where are you, Marcus? I told you If you're not home in 20 minutes, I'm calling the police. She hung up. Her hands were shaking. This couldn't be real. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Check your email. The personal one, not the work one. Elena's blood ran cold. She opened her personal email, found a message sent 30 seconds ago. She pressed play. The video showed her office, her company's office, her CFO, Daniel Martinez, sitting at his desk, and Marcus standing over him. Just move the money in small increments. Elena's too busy to notice. If she finds out, she won't. And even if she does, who do you think they'll believe? You have gambling debts, Daniel. I paid them off. You're loyal to me now, whether you like it or not. The video cut off. Elena's vision blurred. Daniel, her CFO of 4 years, the man who'd helped build Belmont and Associates from a struggling startup into a multi-million-dollar firm. Marcus had bought him. Her phone rang. Unknown number again. She answered. Who is this? Someone who knows what Marcus Volkov is doing to you. The voice was male. Deep, and I can prove it. But you need to move fast. He's planning something today. Something permanent. Who are you? Check the parking garage. Level P3, black SUV. License plate, DCX 2847. Get in. I'll explain everything. Why would I trust? Because in about 2 hours, Marcus is going to have you arrested for embezzlement, and once you're in custody, you'll never get your company back. The line went dead. Elena sat frozen. 2 hours until arrest. She looked around her home office, the awards on the walls, the photos of her father, the contract she'd signed, everything she'd built, and Marcus was about to take it all. She tried her assistant. No answer. She tried her second-in-command at the firm. Elena? The voice was nervous. I can't talk right now. What? Why not? I'm sorry. The line went dead. Elena's heart hammered. Everyone was avoiding her. Why? Her laptop pinged. An email from her company's board of directors. Elena? Receive troubling information regarding financial improprieties. Effective immediately. You are suspended from all duties pending investigation. Your access to company accounts and facilities has been revoked. The board will convene Monday to discuss next steps. Elena couldn't breathe. Suspended. From her own company. Marcus had already made his move, and she'd walked right into it. She had two choices. Stay here and wait for the police. Let Marcus win. Or Elena grabbed her keys, her phone, her father's watch from the desk drawer, and ran. Level P3 was almost empty at 10 a.m. Elena's heels echoed on concrete as she searched for the SUV. Found it in the far corner. Black, tinted windows. License plate, DCX 2847. She approached slowly. The driver's window rolled down. The man inside was maybe 35. Dark hair, sharp jaw, eyes that looked like they'd seen too much. "Get in," he said. "Not until you tell me who you are. My name is Dominic Cross. 3 years ago, Marcus Volkov destroyed my brother's company and drove him to suicide. I've been tracking Marcus ever since, and 3 weeks ago I realized you were his next target." Elena's knees felt weak. "You've been watching me?" "I've been watching Marcus. You just happened to be in the blast radius." Dominic leaned across the passenger seat. "Opened the door. You have about 90 minutes before the police show up at your penthouse. Get in or don't, but if you get in, I can help you destroy him." Elena looked back at the elevator. Up there was her life. Her home, her husband, all of it a lie. She got in the car. Dominic drove fast, through Manhattan traffic. Across the bridge into Brooklyn. "Where are we going?" Elena asked. "Somewhere Marcus doesn't know about. You didn't answer my question. I have a safe house. We'll talk there." Elena studied him. He was controlled, precise, every movement calculated. "Why are you helping me?" "I'm not helping you. I'm using you to get to Marcus." Almost a smile. "I find honesty saves time." The safe house was a loft in Red Hook. Industrial, sparse, windows overlooking the water. Dominic led her inside. Gestured to a laptop on the table. "Sit. I need to show you something." Elena sat. He pulled up a folder. Inside, dozens of files, financial records, email threads. Photos. "Marcus Volkov has done this 13 times, Dominic said. 13 people. 13 companies, all destroyed the exact same way." He clicked through the files. Robert Chen, restaurant chain. Marcus seduced his wife, convinced her Robert was cheating, acquired controlling shares in the divorce. Click. Lisa Tran, fashion startup. Marcus manipulated her sister into testifying she embezzled funds. Bought the company for pennies after the investigation. My brother Thomas, software company. Marcus married his business partner, convinced her to sell him her shares, then dissolved the company 6 months later. Dominic's voice was flat. Empty. Thomas lost everything. His company, his partner, his savings, all spent on legal fees. 6 months after the company folded, he jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge. Elena felt sick. "I'm sorry. I don't want your sympathy. I want your help." Dominic turned to face her. "Marcus has a pattern. He identifies successful people, isolates them, turns their inner circle against them, then takes everything. You're victim number 14. How do we stop him?" "We don't. Not directly." Dominic opened another file. "Marcus is too careful. Every move he makes is technically legal. The contracts are real. The transactions are legitimate. He's a predator, but he's a smart one. Then what? We find the one person he trusts, the one person who knows where all the bodies are buried, and we flip them." Elena's stomach dropped. She knew exactly who Dominic meant. "Rachel," Elena whispered. Dominic nodded. Your best friend, the one who testified against you. She wouldn't... She already did. Dominic pulled up an email chain. Marcus has been communicating with her for 6 months. She's been feeding him information about your business, your investors, your vulnerabilities. Elena stared at the screen. There it was, black and white. Rachel Morgan, 2. Marcus Volkov. Elena's meeting with Meridian is Friday. She's planning to pitch them on a 3-year extension. Marcus Volkov, 2. Rachel Morgan. Perfect. I'll make my move Thursday night. Why? Elena's voice broke. Why would she do this? Dominic clicked to another email. This one made Elena's blood run cold. Marcus Volkov, to weigh. Rachel Morgan N. Little academic fraud problem stays buried as long as you stay useful. Keep sending me intel on Elena, and your sister gets to keep her scholarship. Stop, and I send the evidence to the university. Rachel was being blackmailed. Just like everyone else. I need to talk to her, Elena said. Bad idea. She could warn Marcus. She won't. How can you be sure? Because I know Rachel. She wouldn't betray me unless she had no choice. People surprise you when their survival is on the line. Maybe, but I have to try. What would you do? Everything goes dark. 10 seconds. Would you confront your best friend, the woman who helped destroy you, knowing she might turn you in? Or would you find another way? 10, 9, 8. Trust is a luxury when you've lost everything, but sometimes the only way forward is through the people who hurt you most. 7, 6, 5. Elena makes her choice. I'm going to see Rachel, with or without your help. Dominic studies her for a long moment, then pulls out a phone. Fine, but you're wearing a wire, and I'm listening to every word. Rachel's brownstone is in Park Slope, expensive neighborhood. Marcus bought it for her. Elena stands on the stoop at 2 p.m. Her finger hovers over the doorbell. In her ear, Dominic's voice crackles. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. She rings the bell. Footsteps, thinner. Shadows under her eyes. Hair pulled back in a messy bun. I need 5 minutes. You can't be here. If Marcus finds out, he won't. Unless you tell him... Rachel's hand trembles on the doorknob. She glances past Elena, checking to see if anyone followed her, then steps aside. 5 minutes. Inside, the brownstone is beautiful and empty. Expensive furniture, no personal touches, no warmth. A prison made of marble and crown molding. He doesn't live here, Elena says. It's not a question. Rachel wraps her arms around herself. Elena sits on the couch, uninvited. I know about Maya. Rachel's face goes white. What? I know Marcus is blackmailing you. I know about the grade changing. I know he's been forcing you to spy on me for 6 months. Rachel sinks into a chair. How? Because he's done this to 13 other people. And now he's doing it to us. Elena pulls out her phone, shows Rachel the files Dominic gave her. The list of victims, the pattern of destruction. He ruined a man named Robert Chen. Made him lose his restaurant chain, his wife, his kids. She scrolls. He destroyed a woman named Lisa Tran. Got her sister addicted to pills to keep her compliant. She scrolls again. He drove a man named Thomas Cross to suicide. Rachel's hands are shaking. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. That's how he works. He makes you think you're the only one. That you're special. That if you just do what he says, everything will be okay. Elena leans forward. But it won't be okay, Rachel. Because once he's done with me, he'll find a new reason to control you. A new threat. A new chain. Rachel's eyes fill with tears. What do you want from me? Testimony. Everything he made you do, everything he has on you. He'll destroy Maya. I have someone who can protect her. New identity, new school. Marcus will never find her. And me? You too. Both of you disappear. Start over. Rachel stands, walks to the window, stares out at the street. Why? Her voice is barely a whisper. After everything I did, why would you help me? Elena stands too, walks to her. Because you were my best friend, and I know you didn't choose this. Rachel turns, tears streaming down her face. Rachel stiffens. He's here. What? Marcus. He's here. Rachel pulls back, panic in her eyes. He comes by every Tuesday at 2:30 to check on me. Elena's blood runs cold. You said 5 minutes. I thought I had more time. In her ear, Dominic's voice, Elena, get out. Now. But it's too late. The front door opens. Marcus walks in. Sees Elena. Stops. For 3 seconds, nobody moves. Then Marcus smiles. That same warm, perfect smile. Elena, what a surprise. Marcus closes the door behind him. Locks it. The sound of the deadbolt sliding into place echoes through the brownstone. Rachel, Marcus says calmly, would you mind giving us a moment? Rachel. His voice is sharper now. She looks at Elena, then walks upstairs. Her footsteps fade. A door closes. Elena is alone with Marcus. So, Marcus walks to the bar cart. Pours himself a scotch. I'm guessing Dominic Cross found you. Elena's heart stops. You know about Dominic? Of course I know about Dominic. I've known he was tracking me for 2 years. Marcus takes a sip. He's been waiting for the right victim to turn against me. Looks like he chose you. You killed his brother. I didn't kill anyone. Thomas Cross made his own choices. Marcus sits in the leather chair, crosses his legs, just like you're making yours right now. What's that supposed to mean? It means you have a decision to make, Elena. You can keep fighting work with Dominic, gather evidence, try to build a case. Or... He pauses. You can walk away clean. Walk away clean? Elena's laugh is bitter. You're having me arrested for embezzlement. You stole my company. You turned everyone I trust against me. What part of that is clean? Marcus sets down his glass. All charges dropped. Your company returned. Your reputation restored. I'll even write you a check for $10 million as an apology. Elena stares at him. Why would you do that? Because you're my wife, and despite everything, I do care about you. His voice is soft, almost sincere. This got out of hand. I see that now. We can fix it. You held a knife to my throat. I was angry. I'm sorry. But Elena doesn't move, because part of her, the exhausted, broken part, wants to believe him. Wants this nightmare to be over. What's the catch? She asks. Marcus stands, walks toward her, stops a foot away. You divorce me quietly, sign an NDA, and you never speak to Dominic Cross or any of my other former associates. Again. That's it? That's it. He reaches out, cups her face. We both walk away, start over. No victims, no villains. Just two people who made mistakes. Elena looks into his eyes. Those blue eyes that once made her feel safe. And if I say no? Marcus's hand drops. His expression hardens. Then I visit your mother's hospital tomorrow, and I tell her that you're the reason her treatment was cancelled, that you embezzled the money meant for her care. Elena's vision blurs. You wouldn't... She's 83, Elena. How many years does she have left? You want her to die thinking her daughter is a thief. What would you do? Everything goes dark. 10 seconds. Would you take the deal, save your mother, save your reputation, walk away clean? Or would you refuse, knowing it means your mother dies hating you? 10-9-8. This is the impossible choice. Save yourself, or save the truth. 7. 6. 5. Elena thinks about her father, the man who built Belmont and Associates from nothing, who taught her that integrity matters more than success. Trust your instincts, he used to say, but verify everything. She thinks about the 13 people Marcus destroyed. She thinks about Thomas Cross, who jumped off a bridge, and Dominic, who spent 3 years tracking a monster. Elena looks at Marcus. No. Marcus blinks. What? I said no. Elena's voice is steady. I'm not taking your deal. Elena, you're a predator. You've ruined 13 lives. And if I take this deal, you'll just find victim number 15, and 16, and 20. Marcus's jaw tightens. You're making a mistake. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. She turns toward the door. Marcus grabs her arm. You don't get to walk away from me. Watch me. Heads for the door. Marcus moves fast. Blocks her path. You think Dominic Cross is your savior? His voice is cold now, empty. He's using you, Elena, just like I did. The only difference is I'm honest about it. Get out of my way. He doesn't care about you. He cares about revenge. And when he's done with you, he'll throw you away like everyone else. Elena meets his eyes. Maybe, but at least he told me the truth. She pushes past him, opens the door. Rachel is standing at the top of the stairs, a bag packed at her feet. I'm coming with you, she says. Marcus turns. Rachel... No. Rachel's voice is firm. I'm done. I'm done lying. I'm done being your puppet. Picks up her bag, stands next to Elena. Marcus looks between them. For a moment, something flickers across his face. You're both making a huge mistake, he says quietly. Probably, Elena agrees. She and Rachel walk out together. Dominic's SUV is waiting at the corner. They get in. Dominic pulls away immediately. Is the wire still working? He asks. Every word, Elena confirms. Good, because I recorded the whole thing, including the part where he threatened your mother and admitted to having you framed. Elena leans back in the seat. Her hands are shaking. Rachel is crying silently beside her. What happens now? Elena asks. Dominic glances in the rear-view mirror. Now we move fast. Marcus knows we're coming for him. He'll try to cover his tracks. Destroy evidence. Maybe run. So what do? We get you both somewhere safe. Then we go to war. The second safe house is in Queens. A nondescript apartment above a Chinese restaurant. 2 bedrooms. Basic furniture. Windows that face an alley. This is where you're staying until the trial, Dominic says. He sets down bags of groceries. Hands Elena and Rachel each a burner phone. No social media. No contact with anyone from your old life. No going outside unless I'm with you. Rachel sits on the couch, hugs herself. How long? Could be weeks. Could be months. Dominic pulls out a laptop. Depends on how fast we can build the case. What case? Elena asks. You said everything Marcus did was technically legal. It was. But now we have something we didn't have before. What? Dominic pulls up an audio file. Presses play. Marcus's voice fills the room. Then I visit your mother's hospital tomorrow, and I tell her that you're the reason her treatment was cancelled, that you embezzled the money meant for her care. Dominic stops the recording. Extortion, witness intimidation. Combined with Rachel's testimony about the blackmail, we have enough to get the police interested. Rachel looks up. You want me to testify against him? I need you to testify. Your story proves the pattern, proves Marcus does this systematically. He'll destroy my sister. Not if we move her first. Dominic pulls out a phone. Makes a call. Maya Morgan, University of Chicago. I need a protective detail on her immediately. Pick her up. Bring her to the secondary location. Don't tell her anything until I call her. He hangs up. Looks at Rachel. Your sister will be safe by tonight. You have my word. Elena paces the small living room. Okay. So we have Rachel's testimony. We have the recording. What else? We need the other victims, Dominic says. The 13 people Marcus destroyed. If even half of them agree to testify, we can prove a pattern of fraud and extortion. How do we find them? Dominic opens his laptop, shows a spreadsheet. Names, dates, companies. I've been tracking Marcus for 3 years. I know who every victim is, where they are, what they lost. He scrolls through the list. Robert Chen, lives in San Diego now, drives for Uber. Scroll. Lisa Tran, opened a small boutique in Portland. Struggling. Scroll. David Park, moved back to Korea after his company collapsed. Elena studies the names. Will they talk? Some will, some won't. Dominic closes the laptop. We need at least 5. That's enough to show the pattern. I'll do it, Elena says. Do what? Contact them. They're more likely to trust another victim than a stranger. Dominic considers this. Okay, but I'm coming with you. And we're being careful. If Marcus finds out we're contacting his former victims, he'll what? He's already destroyed my life. He can make it worse. Trust me. Robert Chen lives in a studio apartment in San Diego. Small. Cramped. The walls are thin enough that Elena can hear the neighbors arguing. Robert answers the door in sweatpants and a faded t-shirt. He's maybe 50. Grey at the temples. Tired eyes. Robert Chen? Elena asks. Who's asking? My name is Elena Belmont. Marcus Volkov destroyed my company 3 weeks ago. I'd like to talk to you about what he did to yours. Robert's face hardens. I have nothing to say about Marcus Volkov. He starts to close the door. Elena puts her foot in the gap. Please, I know what he did. I know about your restaurant chain, your wife, your kids. You don't know shit. I know he seduced your wife, convinced her you were cheating, used the divorce to acquire controlling shares of your company, and I know that when it was over, you lost everything. Robert stares at her. Who told you that? It's too late. He already won. Not if we fight back. Together. Robert laughs. It's a broken sound. You want me to testify? Go up against Marcus Volkov in court? I tried that once. You know what happened? I lost my savings. My lawyer dropped me. My own kids stopped talking to me because their mother convinced them I was the bad guy. Because you were alone, Elena says. But you're not anymore. There are 13 others. 13 people he destroyed the exact same way. If we all testify, he'll destroy us again. That's what he does? Robert shakes his head. I'm sorry. I can't help you. He closes the door. Elena stands in the hallway. Defeated. That went well, Dominic says when Elena gets back to the car. He's scared. I don't blame him. We need him, Elena. His case is one of the strongest. If he won't testify... They spend the next 3 days traveling. San Francisco, Portland, Chicago, meeting Marcus's victims. Some slam doors in their faces. One threatens to call the police. But on day 4 they find someone. Her name is Lisa Tran. She owns a small boutique in Portland. Vintage clothes. Custom alterations. She looks up. Yes? My name is Elena Belmont. I need to talk to you about Marcus Volkov. Lisa's face goes white. She sets down the fabric. I don't talk about him. I understand. But you don't understand. Lisa's voice is sharp. He destroyed my company. Ruined my relationship with my sister. I've spent 3 years rebuilding my life. I'm not going to risk it all again by—
He's threatening my mother, Elena interrupts.
He said if I don't cooperate, he'll tell her I embezzled money meant for her cancer treatment. She's 83. She has maybe a year left. And he's going to make her die thinking I'm a thief. Lisa is quiet. I'm sorry, she says finally, but that's not my problem. What about your sister? Elena presses. You said Marcus ruined your relationship with her. Where is she now? Lisa looks away. Rehab. 3rd time. Marcus got her addicted, didn't he? Kept her on pills to make sure you'd cooperate. How did you— Because he does it to everyone. There are 13 of us, Lisa. 13 people whose lives he destroyed. And if we don't stop him, there will be more. Lisa's hands are shaking. What do you want from me? Testimony. In front of a grand jury. Tell them what Marcus did. How he manipulated your sister. How he stole your company. And if I do this, you can protect my sister. Dominic steps forward. I have a facility. Private. Secure. Best addiction specialists in the country. Your sister gets treatment and Marcus never finds her. Lisa's eyes fill with tears. You promise? I promise. She's quiet for a long moment. Then, okay, I'll testify. Over the next 3 weeks, they find 4 more victims willing to talk. David Park, Michelle Torres, Sarah Bennett, and finally, Robert Chen, who changes his mind after hearing the others agreed to testify. 6 victims total. 6 people ready to tell their stories. Dominic works 18-hour days coordinating, getting witness statements, building timelines. Elena helps where she can, but mostly she watches. Watches Dominic work with a focus that borders on obsessive. He doesn't sleep much. Lives on coffee and takeout. Sometimes she finds him at 3 a.m., still at his laptop. You should rest, she says one night. He doesn't look up. Can't. Marcus's lawyers are good. If we miss anything, we won't— You don't know that. Elena sits beside him. Why are you doing this? I told you, my brother. No, I mean, why like this? She gestures at the files, the laptop, the exhaustion in his eyes. You could have hired lawyers, investigators. Let them handle it. But you're doing it yourself. Why? Dominic is quiet for a long moment, because Thomas called me the night before he died, asked me to come over, and I said I was too busy. I had a meeting I couldn't miss. His voice cracks. He needed me, and I chose work. Dominic. So yeah, maybe this is penance. Maybe it's guilt. I don't know. He finally looks at her. But I'm not walking away. Not until Marcus pays for what he did. Elena reaches out, takes his hand. Then we finish this. Together. 6 weeks after Elena escaped the penthouse, Marcus Volkov is indicted. 18 counts: fraud, extortion, blackmail, witness tampering. The news breaks on a Thursday morning. Elena watches from the safe house in Queens, sees Marcus being led out of his office in handcuffs. His perfect suit, his perfect hair, his face twisted in rage. Rachel sits beside her on the couch. It's really happening, Rachel whispers. Yeah, do you feel anything? They watch in silence as Marcus is put into a police car. As the perfect life he built crumbles on national television. Now we wait for the trial. Could be months. And then, because she doesn't know, but something makes her pick up. Hello? Elena Belmont. The voice is smooth. Professional. My name is Catherine Voss. I represent Marcus Volkov. Elena's blood runs cold. I have nothing to say to you. Please, don't hang up. I'm calling with an offer. I'm not interested. Your mother is at St. Luke's Hospital, room 407. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Her treatment was funded by Marcus's insurance policy, which has now been cancelled due to his arrest. Elena's hand tightens on the phone. What are you saying? I'm saying that if you withdraw your testimony, Marcus will reinstate the policy. Your mother gets the treatment she needs. You get to spend her last months with her. Everyone wins. And if I don't? Then her treatment stops. She has maybe 6 weeks. They'll make her comfortable, but... Catherine's voice is sympathetic. It won't be pleasant. Elena can't breathe. That's extortion. That's reality. You have 24 hours to decide, 6 weeks without treatment, or testify and watch her die hating her. Dominic finds her an hour later, still sitting in the dark. What happened? Elena tells him. When she's done, Dominic is quiet. I can pay for the treatment, he says finally. What? Your mother's treatment. I can cover it. All of it. Dominic, that has to be hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't care. You're not dropping out because of this. Elena stares at him. Why would you do that? Because Marcus doesn't get to win. Not like this, but... Elena. His voice is firm. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Your mother gets her treatment. You testify. We destroy Marcus. End of discussion. Tears blur vision. I don't know how to repay you. Don't. Just finish this. 2 days later, Elena visits her mother. St. Luke's Hospital. Room 407. Her mother is asleep when she arrives. Thin, pale, but breathing. Elena sits beside the bed, takes her hand. Hi, Mom. Her mother's eyes flutter open. Elena? Yeah, it's me. Where have you been? I've been trying to call you for weeks. I know, I'm sorry, things have been complicated. Her mother struggles to sit up. Elena helps adjust the pillows. I heard about Marcus, her mother says. About the arrest. The news said, it's all true, Mom. Everything they're saying. He stole from me. He framed me. He tried to destroy my life. Her mother's hand tightens on hers. Are you okay? I'm surviving. That's not what I asked. Elena's throat tightens. No, I'm not okay. But I will be. Stronger, like you finally stopped trying to be perfect. Elena laughs. It's a wet sound. I don't have a choice. Perfect doesn't survive what Marcus did. Good. Her mother's smile is weak but real. Perfect was boring anyway. They sit in comfortable silence. Then her mother asks, the treatment. I heard it was cancelled, but then yesterday they said it was back on. Different insurance. Did you... A friend helped. Must be a good friend. Elena thinks about Dominic, about the way he works 18-hour days, about how he paid hundreds of thousands for a stranger's medical bills, about the way he looks at her when he thinks she's not watching. Yeah, she says quietly. I think he might be... The trial starts on a Monday in February. Cold. Grey. The kind of morning that makes you want to stay in bed. Elena stands outside the courthouse in a navy suit she borrowed from Rachel. Her own clothes, the designer pieces, the expensive shoes are gone. Sold to pay for a lawyer Marcus's team couldn't buy off. You ready? Dominic asks beside her. He's in a charcoal suit, clean-shaven. Hair perfectly styled. Elena feels like an imposter. No, she admits. Good. Means you're taking it seriously. They walk up the courthouse steps together. Reporters swarm immediately. Miss Belmont, did you embezzle funds from your own company? Steadies her. They push through. Inside, the courthouse is all marble and echoes. Rachel is waiting by the security checkpoint. She's wearing a simple black dress. Her hair is shorter now. Professional. She looks different. They're already inside, Rachel says quietly. Marcus, his lawyers, the whole team. How does he look? Courtroom 4B is packed. Journalists, spectators, law students taking notes. And there, at the defense table, is Marcus. He's wearing an expensive suit. His hair is perfect. His posture is relaxed. When Elena walks in, he looks up. Not a cruel smile, not a threatening smile, like he's disappointed in her. Elena's hands shake. Dominic leans close. Don't look at him. Look at me. She does. His eyes are steady. Calm. He's trying to throw you off. Don't let him. Elena nods, takes her seat at the prosecution table. The judge enters. Everyone rises. Be seated. We're here for the trial of Marcus Volkov. 18 counts of fraud, extortion, and witness tampering. Is the prosecution ready? The prosecutor, a woman named Diana Reeves, stands. We are, Your Honor. Defense? Ready, Your Honor? Then let's begin. Diana Reeves walks to the jury. She's in her 40s, sharp, confident. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this case is about a pattern of manipulation, theft, and destruction that spans 13 victims over 5 years. She clicks a remote. A screen lights up behind her, photos of Marcus's victims. Robert Chen, Lisa Tran, Thomas Cross, all 13 of them. These people built companies, built lives, built futures. And Marcus Volkov systematically destroyed every single one of them. She clicks again. A timeline appears. He would identify successful people, seduce their partners or business associates, isolate the victim, then use blackmail, fraud, or legal manipulation to steal everything they'd built. Click, financial records. He created shell companies, moved money through offshore accounts, made every transaction look legal on paper. But it wasn't legal. It was theft. Calculated, methodical theft. Diana turns to face the jury. The defense will tell you that these were business deals gone wrong. That Marcus Volkov is a savvy investor who made tough but legal decisions. She pauses. But the evidence will show you something different. It will show you a predator, a man who targeted vulnerable people and destroyed them for profit. She sits down. Charles Whitmore stands. Ladies and gentlemen, my client is a successful venture capitalist. Over the course of his career, he has made hundreds of investments. Some succeeded, some failed. That's business. Charles walks toward the jury box. The prosecution wants you to believe that every failed investment, every business dispute, every divorce is somehow part of a grand conspiracy. But that's not reality. He gestures to Marcus. Marcus Volkov made tough business decisions. He acquired companies that were failing. He ended partnerships that weren't working. And yes, some people got hurt. That's unfortunate. But it's not criminal. Charles picks up a document. You'll hear testimony from so-called victims, people who made bad business decisions and are looking for someone to blame. People who signed contracts they didn't read. People who trusted the wrong partners. He looks at Elena, including Miss Belmont, who was so focused on her career that she didn't notice her own company was failing, who signed documents without reading them, who gave her husband access to accounts she should have protected. Elena's face burns. The prosecution wants you to believe Marcus Volkov is a monster, but the evidence will show you something different. A man who made difficult but legal business decisions. A man who is being scapegoated by people who can't accept their own failures. He sits down. The judge looks at Diana. Call your first witness. Robert Chen takes the stand. He's wearing a suit that doesn't quite fit. His hands are shaking. Diana approaches. Mr. Chen, can you tell the jury about your restaurant chain? I owned 5 locations. Mexican food, family recipes. We were doing well. About 8 million in annual revenue. And how did you meet Marcus Volkov? Through my wife. Ex-wife. Robert's voice is bitter. She met him at a charity event. Brought him home for dinner. Said he was interested in investing. What happened next? Marcus started coming by more often, having private conversations with my wife. I thought they were just business discussions. Robert's jaw tightens. Then one day she told me she wanted a divorce. Said I was having an affair, which I wasn't. But Marcus had photos. Fake ones. Made it look like I was with another woman. What did you do? I tried to prove they were fake. But by the time I could, the divorce was already in motion, and Marcus had convinced my wife to sell him her shares of the company. She owned 49%. And then he dissolved the company, sold the properties, kept the profits. Diana nods. No further questions. Charles Whitmore stands. Mr. Chen, you signed a prenuptial agreement, didn't you? Yes, but... And that agreement stated that in the event of a divorce, your wife was entitled to sell her shares to any buyer of her choosing? Yes. So legally she had every right to sell to my client. Legally, yes, but no further questions. Robert leaves the stand looking defeated. Lisa Tran is next. She's composed, professional. But Elena can see the tension in her shoulders. Miss Tran, tell us about your fashion company. Sterling Designs. Custom clothing. High-end clientele. We were doing about 12 million in annual revenue. How did Marcus Volkov enter your life? Through my sister. She was my business partner. Handled the financial side. Lisa's voice catches. Marcus approached her. Told her I was embezzling, showed her falsified bank records, convinced her to testify against me. What happened? I was investigated, charged, spent 2 years fighting it. By the time the charges were dropped, my company was bankrupt, my investors were gone, my sister was... Lisa's hands shake. Marcus had gotten her addicted to prescription pills. Kept her dependent so she'd keep lying for him. Where is your sister now? Rehab. She's getting better, but she'll never be the same. Diana lets that sit. No further questions. Charles approaches. Miss Tran, your sister signed an affidavit saying you pressured her to lie about the embezzlement. Is that correct? That's not yes or no, Miss Tran. She was coerced, yes or no? Lisa's eyes fill with tears. Yes, but no further questions. They break for lunch. Elena goes to the courthouse bathroom. Breathes. This is going worse than she expected. Marcus's lawyer is good, really good. He's making every victim look like they're just bitter people who made bad decisions. Footsteps. Elena? Rachel's voice. Yeah. You okay? Rachel sighs. I testify this afternoon. Elena comes out of the stall. Rachel is standing by the sinks. Her makeup is perfect, but her eyes are red. Are you ready? Elena asks. I don't know. Rachel turns on the faucet, washes her hands. Whitmore is going to destroy me. You saw what he did to Robert and Lisa. You'll be fine, will I? Rachel meets Elena's eyes in the mirror. Because I'm the one who actually testified against you. I'm the one who helped Marcus steal your company. The jury is going to hate me. They'll understand. Will they? Rachel's voice breaks. Because I'm not sure I understand. I look back at everything I did, and I don't recognize myself. Elena puts a hand on her shoulder. You were being blackmailed. You were protecting your sister. Anyone would have... Not anyone. Not you. Rachel turns. You walked away from Marcus's deal, even though it meant losing everything. I caved the first time he threatened me. That doesn't make you weak, doesn't it? They stand in silence. Then Rachel says quietly, "What if I freeze up there? What if I can't do it? Everything goes dark." 20 seconds. Your best friend, the woman who betrayed you, is about to testify against the man who destroyed both your lives. She's terrified, fragile. One wrong word from the defense attorney could break her. Would you tell her the truth, that her testimony might not matter, that the jury might not believe her? Or would you lie, give her false confidence, knowing it might shatter when she's on the stand? Or would you give her a third option, one that protects her but weakens your case? 20, 19, 18. This is the choice that could win or lose the trial. 17, 16, 15. Elena takes Rachel's hands. If you freeze, I'll be right there, front row. And if it gets too hard, look at me. Not the jury. Not Marcus. Not Whitmore. Just me. And if I mess up, then we adapt. We have 5 other witnesses. We have financial records. We have the recording. Your testimony is important, Rachel, but it's not everything. Rachel's eyes search hers. You mean that? Yeah, I do. Rachel nods slowly. Okay. Rachel takes the stand at 2 p.m. She's sworn in. Sits down. Diana approaches gently. Ms. Morgan, how long have you known Elena Belmont? And would you describe her as a friend? She was my best friend. Was? Rachel's voice is barely a whisper. I don't know what we are anymore. Can you tell the jury how you met Marcus Volkov? At Elena's wedding, he was charming, friendly. After the wedding, he started texting me. Just small talk at first, asking about Elena, about her work. When did that change? About 6 months into their marriage. He asked to meet for coffee. Said he wanted advice on a surprise for Elena's birthday. Rachel's hands twist in her lap, but when I got there, he showed me photos of my sister, Maya, changing a student's grade in exchange for money. What did Marcus want? Information about Elena's business, her clients, her plans. He said if I helped him, he'd keep Maya's secret. If I didn't, her voice breaks. If I didn't, he'd destroy her. So you helped him. For how long? 6 months. And during that time, what information did you provide? Everything. Her meeting schedules, her investor contacts, her financial strategies. Rachel's tears spill over. I gave him everything he needed to destroy her. Diana lets the jury absorb that. Ms. Morgan, did you want to betray Elena? No, God, no. She was my best friend, but I couldn't let him destroy Maya. I couldn't. Thank you. No further questions. Charles Whitmore stands. Ms. Morgan. Charles's voice is pleasant, almost friendly. You testified that you gave Marcus Volkov information about Miss Belmont for 6 months. Is that correct? Yes. And during those 6 months, did Marcus Volkov ever physically threaten you? No, but did he threaten your life? Did he threaten your sister's life? No, but he threatened to expose a crime your sister actually committed. Correct? Rachel hesitates. Yes. So to be clear, your sister committed academic fraud, a crime, and Marcus Volkov threatened to report that crime to the proper authorities. Is that accurate? He was using it to manipulate me. Yes or no, Miss Morgan? Yes. Charles walks closer to the witness stand. And you testified that you're Elena Belmont's best friend, correct? But you betrayed her. You helped steal her company. You testified against her in a fraud case you knew was false. I was being blackmailed by a man who threatened to report a real crime." Charles's voice sharpens. "Tell me, Miss Morgan, at any point during those 6 months, did you go to the police?" "No." "Did you tell Elena what was happening?" "Did you refuse Marcus Volkov's requests?" "Did you refuse?" Rachel's voice is barely audible. "No." "So you made a choice. You chose to protect your sister, who had committed a crime, over your innocent best friend. Isn't that the truth?" Rachel is crying now. "I didn't know what else to do. But you made a choice, and now you're here, trying to claim you're a victim, when in reality you were a willing participant in my client's business dealings." "That's not true." No further questions. Rachel practically runs from the stand. They reconvene at the safe house that night. Rachel is on the couch, staring at nothing. Elena brings her tea. "You did great. I fell apart. You told the truth. That's what matters. The jury hated me. You saw their faces." Elena sits beside her. "Rachel. He's going to win." Rachel's voice is flat. "Marcus is going to walk. And all of this, all of it, will have been for nothing." Dominic walks in from the kitchen. "We still have Elena's testimony, and the financial evidence. We're not done yet. But Whitmore is so good," Rachel says. "He made me look like a criminal. What's he going to do to Elena?" Dominic and Elena exchange glances. Because Rachel's right. Charles Whitmore is one of the best defense attorneys in New York. And tomorrow, Elena takes the stand. Elena can't sleep. She's been lying in bed for 3 hours, staring at the ceiling, goes to the living room, finds Dominic at the table, surrounded by files. "You should sleep," she says. "So should you." Elena sits across from him. "I'm scared." Dominic looks up. "Of Marcus. Of tomorrow. Of testifying. Of—" She trails off. "What if I'm not enough? What if everything we've built falls apart because I can't hold it together on the stand?" Dominic closes his laptop. "You want to know what I think? Tell me. I think you're the strongest person I've ever met. You lost everything, your company, your marriage, your reputation, and you didn't break. You fought back. I signed those papers. I let him take everything. To survive. That's not weakness, Elena. That's strategy." He reaches across the table, takes her hand. "Tomorrow, Charles Whitmore is going to try to make you look weak, or greedy, or incompetent. He's going to twist everything you say, make you doubt yourself." Not helping. Dominic's lips twitch. But here's what he can't do. He can't change the truth. He can't erase what Marcus did, and he can't break you unless you let him. Elena looks at their joined hands. "What if I let him? Then I'll be there, front row, and when it gets hard, you look at me, just like you told Rachel." She meets his eyes. "Why are you doing this? I told you." "No, not the revenge thing. Not your brother." Elena's voice is soft. "Why are you, really, doing this?" Dominic is quiet for a long moment. Then, because somewhere along the way it stopped being about revenge. What's it about now? He stands, walks around the table, stops in front of her. "You." Elena's breath catches. "Dominic?" He cups her face. "I know this is terrible timing. I know we're in the middle of a trial. I know this is probably the worst possible moment to tell you this." "Tell me what?" "That I'm falling for you." The words hang in the air. Elena can't breathe, can't think. "You barely know me. I know you better than you think." His thumb brushes her cheek. "I know you work yourself to exhaustion because you're afraid of failing. I know you check on your mother every morning, even though she doesn't remember half the visits. I know you cry in the shower, so Rachel won't hear you. Elena's eyes sting. That's not falling for someone. That's just observation. Maybe. But I also know that when you smile, really smile, not the fake one you give reporters, you get this little dimple on your left side. And I know you drink your coffee black because you think it makes you seem tougher than you are. And I know that every time Marcus's name comes up, you flinch, but you never back down. He leans closer. So yeah, maybe I barely know you, but what I do know, I'm falling for it. Elena should pull away. This is complicated. Messy. She's in the middle of the biggest trial of her life, depending on this man for safety, for protection, for... She kisses him. Elena wakes up in Dominic's bed, alone. She can hear him in the kitchen, coffee brewing, pages turning. For a moment she lets herself feel normal, like she's just a woman waking up in a man's apartment the morning after. Then she remembers. Today she testifies. Today Marcus's lawyer tries to destroy her. Today everything comes down to whether 12 strangers believe her story. Walks to the kitchen. Dominic looks up from his files. Morning. Last night was unexpected, intense, real. About last night, Elena starts. We don't have to talk about it now, but... Elena. His voice is gentle. Right now, you need to focus on the trial. We can figure out whatever this is later, okay? She nods. Okay. But as they drink coffee in comfortable silence, Elena realizes something. She wants there to be a later. She wants to figure out what this is. She wants... We should go, Dominic says. Court starts at 9. The trial. Elena is sworn in at 9:30 a.m. She sits, faces the courtroom. Marcus is at the defense table, watching her with those blue eyes. Ms. Belmont, Diana begins. Tell us how you met Marcus Volkov. Elena takes a breath. At a charity fundraiser. 3 years ago. He approached me. We talked. He asked me to dinner. What was your first impression of him? He was charming, intelligent. He asked good questions. Seemed genuinely interested in my work. When did you get married? 6 months later. That's fast, I know. But it felt right. He understood my ambition. Didn't feel threatened by my success. Diana nods. When did things change? About a year into the marriage. Small things at first. Passwords that stopped working. My assistant quit without explanation. My biggest client terminated our contract. What did you think was happening? I thought I was stressed. Paranoid. Marcus told me I was working too hard. When did you realize it was more than that? When I found the emails, Diana pulls out a document. These emails? Can you read the first one for the jury? Elena's hands shake as she takes the paper. From Marcus Volkov to Daniel Martinez, my CFO. I need you to start moving funds from the client trust accounts into the shell companies we discussed. Elena is too busy to notice. Her voice cracks. That's when I knew he wasn't just leaving me. He was destroying me. Diana walks Elena through everything. The systematic betrayal. The blackmail. The false embezzlement charges. And finally, the night Marcus held a knife to her throat. He told me to sign the divorce papers and the transfer of ownership. Said if I didn't... Elena's voice is steady now. He'd make sure I went to prison. Make sure my mother died thinking I was a thief. What did you do? I signed. Why? Because I was terrified. Because he had destroyed everyone around me. Because I had nothing left to fight with. Diana lets that sit. But you didn't stay silent. Why? Elena looks at Marcus. He's watching her, expression unreadable. Because 13 other people didn't survive what he did, and I couldn't let there be a 14th. Diana nods. No further questions. Charles Whitmore stands slowly, like he has all the time in the world. Miss Belmont, you testified that you loved your husband. Is that correct? And you trusted him with your finances?
Yes.
Gave him power of attorney over your accounts?
Yes.
Allowed him access to your company's systems? We were married. Yes or no, Miss Belmont? Yes. So you gave your husband complete access to everything, and now you're surprised that he used that access. He abused it, or he used the access you willingly gave him to make business decisions. Charles picks up a document. You signed this transfer agreement, correct? Under duress. Did you read it before signing? He had a knife. Miss Belmont, did you read the document? Elena's jaw tightens. So you signed a legal document without reading it, just like you gave your husband access to your accounts without safeguards, just like you trusted your CFO without oversight. I trusted the people I loved, and when those relationships failed, you looked for someone to blame. My client is a convenient scapegoat for your own poor judgment. That's not true, isn't it? Charles's voice sharpens. You're a successful businesswoman, Miss Belmont. You didn't build a multi-million-dollar company by being naive. Yet you expect this jury to believe you were completely blindsided by your own husband. I was manipulated. Everything goes dark. 15 seconds. You're on the stand. The defense attorney is making you look incompetent, making it seem like this is your fault. You could defend yourself, explain again how manipulation works, how trust isn't stupidity, but the jury is starting to look skeptical. You could do something unexpected, something that changes the entire dynamic of the trial. 15-14. 13. This is the moment that decides everything. 12, 11, 10. Elena takes a breath. You're right. The courtroom goes silent. Charles blinks. I'm sorry? You're right. I was naive. I trusted too easily. I gave Marcus access to everything because I believed marriage meant partnership. Elena stands. The judge looks alarmed. Miss Belmont? And you're right that I should have read that document before signing it. But you know what else I should have done? She looks directly at the jury. I should have listened to my instincts. Because 6 months before everything fell apart, I knew something was wrong. I felt it, but I ignored it because I didn't want to believe the man I loved could be a monster. Charles tries to interrupt. Your Honor, so yes, Mr. Whitmore, I made mistakes. I trusted the wrong person. I ignored red flags. I signed papers without reading them. Elena's voice is strong now. But none of that, none of it, makes what Marcus did legal. It just makes it easier. She sits back down. The jury is staring at her. Diana is smiling. Charles looks like he's been slapped. No further questions, he says finally. Closing arguments happen the next day. Diana goes first. Ladies and gentlemen, this case is simple. Marcus Volkov systematically destroyed 13 people over 5 years. He used manipulation, blackmail, and legal loopholes to steal millions. She gestures to the victim photos still displayed on the screen. These aren't bad business decisions. This is predatory behavior, and the evidence proves it. She sits down. Charles stands. The prosecution wants you to believe my client is a criminal mastermind. But the evidence shows something different. Failed business relationships, complicated divorces, people who made bad decisions and want someone else to pay for them. He looks at the jury. Marcus Volkov is guilty of being a tough negotiator, maybe even guilty of being a bad husband. But he's not guilty of fraud. and reasonable doubt exists throughout this case. He sits down. The judge instructs the jury. They file out to deliberate. 23 hours. That's how long the jury deliberates. Elena spends it in a conference room with Dominic and Rachel, pacing, drinking bad coffee. Try not to think about what happens if they lose. They're taking too long, Rachel says. That's bad, right? Not necessarily, Dominic replies. Could mean they're being thorough, or it means they're deadlocked. Rachel. Elena walks to the window, looks out at the city. If we lose, she says quietly, what happens? We appeal, Dominic says immediately. And if that fails? Silence. Because they all know, if they lose, Marcus walks free. Keeps the companies he stole. Keeps the money. And there's nothing they can do about it. The call comes at 4 p.m. The jury has reached a verdict. They rush back to the courtroom. The jury files in. None of them look at Marcus. That's a good sign, right? The judge speaks. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreperson stands. We have, Your Honor. On the count of extortion. How do you find? On the count of witness tampering. How do you find? Guilty, count after count. Guilty, 18 counts. Guilty on all of them. Marcus's face goes pale. His lawyers are already huddling, whispering about appeals, but it doesn't matter. They won. That night, they order pizza. Elena, Dominic, and Rachel sit in the safe house living room, drinking cheap wine, actually laughing. I can't believe it's over, Rachel says. It's not over, Elena corrects. Sentencing is in 3 weeks, and there's appeals. Elena, Dominic touches her hand. Let yourself have this moment. She looks at him. At this man who spent 3 years hunting a monster, who paid for her mother's treatment, who believed her when no one else did. Thank you, she says. For what? For everything. Rachel clears her throat. I'm gonna go to bed. You two probably want to... She trails off. Grins, leaves. Elena and Dominic are alone. So, Elena says, we should probably talk about us. Dominic sets down his wineglass. Yeah, we probably should. When he pulls back, he's smiling. How about we figure it out as we go? Elena laughs. That's not a plan. No, but it's a start. 3 days later, Elena gets a call from Diana Reeves. Elena, we need to talk. What's wrong? What happened? Just come, please. Diana's office is in downtown Manhattan. Corporate, professional. Not sad, just conflicted. What's going on? Elena asks. Diana pulls out a file. During sentencing preparation, we ran deeper background checks on everyone involved in the case. Standard procedure. Okay. Elena, did Dominic ever tell you how he funded his investigation into Marcus? He's a CEO. He has money. Had money. Past tense. Diana opens the file. Dominic Cross's company went bankrupt 18 months ago. He's been living off credit and loans for over a year. Elena's blood runs cold. What are you saying? I'm saying the safe houses, the lawyer fees, your mother's medical treatment. That's at least $500,000. Where do you think that money came from? I don't... Diana pulls out a bank statement. 3 weeks before Marcus was arrested, Dominic sold information to 5 different media outlets, details about Marcus's victims, financial records, personal information. She looks at Elena. He sold, or... Story, Elena. Your medical records, your financial statements, everything made almost $600,000. Elena can't breathe. That's not possible. I have the contracts, the wire transfers, everything. Diana's voice is gentle. I'm sorry, I know you two are involved, but you need to know the truth. Dominic Cross didn't help you out of the goodness of his heart. He helped you because you were profitable. Elena drives to Dominic's apartment. Doesn't call ahead. Doesn't text. Just shows up at 8 p.m. and pounds on the door. He opens it, looking confused. Elena? What? She pushes past him, throws the file Diana gave her onto his coffee table. Tell me it's not true. Dominic looks at the file. His expression doesn't change. Where did you get that? Diana Reeves. The prosecutor. She ran background checks. Elena's voice is shaking. Tell me you didn't sell my story to the media. Tell me you didn't profit off my trauma. Dominic is quiet for a long moment. Then I can't tell you that. The words hit like a physical blow. So it's true. You sold my medical records, my financial statements, everything. Elena, how much? Her voice is rising. How much did they pay you for my mother's cancer diagnosis? For the knife at my throat? For my best friend's betrayal? It's not what you think. Then explain it to me. She's shouting now. Explain how you're any different from Marcus. Dominic's face hardens. Don't compare me to him. Why not? You both used me. You both lied to me. The only difference is you were better at hiding it. I didn't use you. You sold my story. You made money off my pain. Elena's laugh is bitter. God, I'm so stupid. I actually thought you cared about me. I thought... Her voice breaks. Dominic steps toward her. She backs away. Don't come near me. Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. Elena's eyes are wet. You needed money to fund your revenge plot. I was convenient. End of story. That's not... Then what, Dominic? What am I missing? Dominic runs a hand through his hair, walks to his desk, pulls out a folder. You want the truth? Fine. Here's the truth. He throws the folder on the table. Inside, medical bills. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth. My brother didn't just kill himself, Dominic says quietly. Before he died, he tried to get help, went to therapy, started medication. None of it worked. He picks up one of the bills. His last month alive, he was in a psychiatric facility. 24-hour care. Cost me $180,000. Insurance didn't cover it. Elena stares at the bills. I spent everything trying to save him. My savings, my company's cash reserves, everything. Dominic's voice is hollow. When he died, I was $400,000 in debt. My company went bankrupt 6 months later. So you sold my story to pay off your debts. I sold your story to fund the investigation, to pay Rachel's sister's rehab bills, to cover your mother's treatment. He looks at her. I sold your story so I could save you the way I couldn't save Thomas. Elena's hands are shaking. You should have told me. Would you have let me help if you knew I was broke? That's not the point. That's exactly the point. Dominic's voice rises. You would have said no. You would have tried to do it alone, and Marcus would have destroyed you just like he destroyed everyone else. So you made that decision for me? Yes, because someone had to... They stand in silence. Then Elena says quietly, Did you mean it? Mean what? It was real. How do I know that? How do I know any of this was real? You don't. He opens his eyes, looks at her. You'll just have to trust me. Elena laughs. It's a broken sound. Trust you? After this? Yeah, trust me. What would you do? Everything goes dark. 45 seconds. The man who saved you also sold your story. Made decisions about your life without asking. But he also paid for your mother's treatment. protected your best friend's sister, spent 3 years hunting the monster who destroyed you both. Would you forgive him? Walk away from someone who lied but had good intentions. I need time, Elena says finally. Dominic nods slowly. How much time? I don't know. Maybe a lot, maybe forever. Can I ask you something first? What? Do you believe me, that I was falling for you? Elena looks at him, at this man who spent 3 years consumed by revenge, who paid $500,000 he didn't have to save strangers, who kissed her like she was the only real thing in his world. I believe you believed it, she says carefully. But I don't know if you can separate me from the mission. I don't know if you even know the difference. Dominic's jaw tightens. That's fair. Elena picks up her bag, walks to the door, stops. For what it's worth, I was falling for you too. She leaves. Marcus's sentencing is scheduled for a Friday. She's been staying with her mother, leaves a voicemail. I know you need space, but when you're ready, I'm here. But she saves his number. The courtroom is packed for sentencing. All 13 victims are there, plus their families, media, spectators. Elena sits in the back, alone. Dominic is in the front row. He doesn't see her, or if he does, he doesn't turn around. Marcus is led in. He's lost weight. His suit doesn't fit right anymore. The confidence is gone, replaced by something harder, meaner. The judge speaks. Marcus Volkov, you have been found guilty on 18 counts of fraud, extortion, and witness tampering. Before I pass sentence, does the defendant wish to make a statement? Marcus's lawyer whispers to him. Marcus shakes his head, stands. Yes, Your Honor, I do. Marcus looks at the courtroom, at the victims, at Elena. His eyes find hers. I'm not going to apologize, he says, because I'm not sorry. Gasps from the gallery. His lawyer tries to pull him down. Marcus shakes him off. Everyone in this room acts like I'm a monster, but I'm just better at the game than you are. I saw opportunities. I took them. That's business. He looks at Robert Chen. You trusted your wife more than you protected your assets. That's not my fault. At Lisa Tran. Your sister was weak. I exploited that. Natural selection. At Elena? And you were so desperate to be loved that you gave me everything I needed to destroy you. You handed me the knife, Elena. I just used it. The courtroom erupts. The judge bangs her gavel. Mr. Volkov, sit down. Marcus sits, but he's smiling like he won. The judge's voice is ice. Marcus Volkov, I have presided over many cases in my 30 years on the bench, but rarely have I encountered someone so devoid of remorse, so fundamentally lacking in human decency. She looks at her notes. The prosecution recommended 15 to 20 years. I'm sentencing you to 25, and I'm recommending you serve every single day. Marcus's smile falters. Marcus is led away. He looks at Elena one last time, and mouths, You'll never be free of me. Elena is halfway to her car when she hears footsteps behind her. Elena, wait! Dominic! She stops but doesn't turn around. What do you want? Just to talk. For 5 minutes. I don't think that's a good idea. Please. Elena turns. He looks tired. Worn down. You were right, Dominic says, about me not knowing the difference between you and the mission. I thought about it a lot these last 3 weeks. And I still don't know. Maybe I can't separate the two. Maybe you'll always be tangled up with Thomas and Marcus and everything that happened. Elena's chest tightens. Then why are you here? Because I want to try. To figure out who you are without the mission. Who we could be when there's no revenge plot, no trial, just us. There is no us, Dominic. There could be. If you let there be— Elena shakes her head. You lied to me, sold my story, made choices about my life without asking. I know. That's not something I can just forgive. I'm not asking you to forgive me. Dominic steps closer. I'm asking you to give me a chance to earn your trust back, however long that takes. And if I can't, if the trust is too broken, then I'll accept that. But at least let me try. Everything goes dark. 60 seconds. This is the final choice. The man who saved you also betrayed you. He lied about his motives, sold your story, made decisions without your consent. But he also paid for your mother's treatment when he was broke. And he's standing here asking for a chance, not forgiveness, just a chance. She thinks about the last 3 weeks, living with her mother, safe, protected, alone. And she realizes something. She's tired of being alone. 30, 29, 28. Okay, Elena says quietly. Dominic blinks. Okay? Not forgiveness, not trust, not yet. She meets his eyes. But I'll give you a chance. One chance. To show me that this, whatever this is real, and if I screw it up, then we're done. No second chances, no explanations, just done. Dominic nods slowly. Fair enough. He holds out his hand. Elena looks at it. This hand that paid for her mother's treatment. That held hers during the trial. That sold her story for profit. She takes it. Don't make me regret this, she says. I won't. Elena Belmont opens her new office on a Tuesday in October. The sign out front reads, Belmont Consulting 2. It's smaller than the old office, only 5 employees instead of 17. But it's hers, really hers this time. No Marcus, no CO signers, no joint accounts. Just her. Rachel is her office manager. They've rebuilt their friendship slowly, carefully, with therapy and honest conversations and boundaries. It's not what it was before. It's better, because it's real. Dominic shows up at noon with lunch. Thai food, her favorite. How's opening day going? He asks. Good. 3 client meetings scheduled for next week. And Meridian Tech called. Yeah. He wants to meet. Says he owes me an apology and a contract. That's huge. It's a start. Elena opens the food containers. How's your day? Busy. Had a meeting with investors. They want to fund the new venture. Dominic's been building something new, a non-profit that helps victims of corporate fraud, free legal services, financial counseling, mental health support. Thomas's legacy, he calls it. That's great, Elena says. They eat in comfortable silence. 6 months ago, silence felt heavy, loaded with unspoken accusations. Now it feels peaceful. They're taking things slow. Coffee dates, dinners, long walks. No labels, no pressure, just seeing where it goes. Some days are good. Some days Elena sees him looking at his laptop and wonders if he's selling someone else's story. Some days he says something and she hears Marcus's voice instead. But they're trying. That has to count for something. At 3 p.m., Elena's assistant buzzes her. Someone here to see you. No appointment. Who? She says her name is Cassandra Reeves. Elena's blood runs cold. Cassandra Reeves, Thomas Cross's former business partner. The woman Marcus married to destroy Helix Technologies. Send her in. Cassandra is beautiful. Mid-30s, polished, designer clothes. But her eyes are haunted. Miss Belmont, thank you for seeing me. Why are you here? Cassandra sits without being invited. I saw the trial, watched Marcus get sentenced, and I realized I need to tell someone the truth. The truth about what? About Marcus, about Helix, about... Cassandra's voice drops. About Thomas. Elena's hands tighten on her desk. I'm listening. I didn't know what Marcus was doing. Not at first. Cassandra looks at her hands. He told me Thomas was embezzling, showed me falsified records. I believed him. So you sold him your shares? Yes. And by the time I realized it was all a lie, Thomas was already... She trails off. I tried to make it right. Went to the police. But Marcus had covered his tracks perfectly. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm not the only one. Elena's stomach drops. What? There are others. People Marcus worked with before the 13 you found. 5 more victims, maybe 6. Cassandra pulls out a folder. I've been tracking them, gathering evidence, and I want to help you expose him. Marcus is already in prison for 25 years, but his assets are still protected. The shell companies, the offshore accounts, he's still worth millions. Cassandra leans forward. Help me find the other victims. Help me prove there are more, and we can file a civil suit that takes everything he has left. What would you do? Everything goes dark. Final choice. 90 seconds. Marcus is in prison. You won. You rebuilt your life. You have your company back. Your mother is healthy. Your best friend is in recovery. You're even falling for someone who might actually be good for you. You could walk away. Let Marcus rot in prison with his millions. Let someone else fight this battle. Live your life. You could keep fighting. Expose 5 more victims. Take away the last thing Marcus has, his wealth. But it means more trials. More testimony. More time spent looking backward instead of forward. 90, 89, 88. Elena looks at Cassandra, at this woman who helped destroy Dominic's brother, who's now trying to make it right. 87, 86, 85. She thinks about Marcus's last words. You'll never be free of me. Is she? Will she ever be? 80, 79, 78. She thinks about the 5 victims Cassandra mentioned, people who are still suffering, still waiting for justice. 70, 69, 68. Elena takes a breath. Tell me about the other victims. Cassandra's face lights up. You'll help? On one condition. What? This is the last time. We find the victims. We file the suit. We take his money. And then I'm done. No more crusades. No more revenge plots. Just done. Cassandra nods. Deal. They shake hands. Elena tells Dominic that night over dinner. He sets down his fork. You're going after Marcus again. Not Marcus. His money. There's a difference. Is there? Elena meets his eyes. You, of all people, should understand this. I do understand it. That's why I'm worried. Dominic leans back. Elena, you just got your life back. Your company is thriving. You're happy. Why risk that? Because 5 more people are still suffering. So let someone else help them. Who? You. Dominic is quiet. I'm done with revenge, he says finally. I got what I needed. Marcus is in prison. My brother's legacy is the non-profit. I'm building something new. Good for you. But I'm not done. Why not? Elena thinks about Marcus's smile in the courtroom, about the way he said, "Handed me the knife, Elena. I just used it." Because he still thinks he won, and I need him to know he didn't. Dominic is quiet for a long moment. Okay. If this is what you need, I support you. But... He reaches across the table, takes her hand. Promise me something. What? Promise me you won't let this consume you, that you'll know when to stop. Elena squeezes his hand. I promise. The civil suit takes 8 months. Cassandra was right. There were 5 more victims. 5 more people Marcus destroyed before he perfected his method. With their testimony, Elena's legal team builds an ironclad case. Marcus's assets are frozen. The shell companies are exposed. The offshore accounts are seized. Marcus fights it from prison. files motion after motion, but it doesn't matter. The judge rules in favor of the victims. Every penny is divided among the 18 people Marcus destroyed. Elena gets $2.8 million. She donates half to Dominic's nonprofit, uses the rest to expand Belmont Consulting. 2 weeks after the settlement, Elena visits her mother, smiling. "You look happy," her mother says. "Really happy, or just pretending?" Elena laughs. "Really happy. Mostly." What's the mostly part? I don't know. Sometimes I worry that I'm building my life around what Marcus took from me, instead of what I actually want. Her mother considers this. "What do you want?" "And the man. Dominic?" Elena smiles. "Yeah. Him too. Do you love him?" "I think so. But I don't know if I trust it yet." "Why not?" "Because the last time I loved someone, it destroyed me." Her mother takes her hand. "Elena! Marcus didn't destroy you. He tried. But you're still here, still fighting, still building." She squeezes. "Don't let him take your future just because he took your past." That night, Dominic takes Elena to dinner. Fancy restaurant, overlooking the water. "What's the occasion?" Elena asks. "Can't I just take my girlfriend to dinner?" They made it official 6 months ago, after long conversations about trust and truth and trauma. Some days are still hard. But it's real. You can. But you look nervous. "So what's going on?" Dominic takes a breath. "I've been thinking about something. Okay, we've been together almost a year, and we've done the work, the therapy, the hard conversations, the boundaries. Right, and I love you. I really love you." Elena's heart skips. "I love you too. So I want to ask you something." He doesn't get down on one knee, doesn't pull out a ring, just looks at her across the table. "Move in with me." Elena blinks. "What?" "Not marriage. Not yet. Maybe not ever if you don't want that. But I want to wake up next to you. I want to build a life with you that's not about Marcus or revenge or the past." He reaches across the table. "I want to find out who we are when we're not fighting. Just us, living, figuring it out as we go." Elena's eyes sting. "That's a terrible pitch. I know. Very unromantic. I'm aware. No ring, no speech. Just move in with me." Dominic grins. "Yep." Elena pretends to think about it. "Okay, yeah. Let's figure out who we are." Final scene. 6 months after that. Elena and Dominic's apartment is in Brooklyn. Exposed brick. Big windows. Plants everywhere because Elena discovered she likes gardening. It's a Sunday morning. Elena is making coffee. Dominic is at the table reading the paper. Rachel is coming over for brunch in an hour. She almost ignores it. But something makes her answer. "Elena Belmont? This is Officer Martinez with Rikers Island. I'm calling to inform you that Marcus Volkov was involved in an altercation this morning." Elena's stomach drops. "Is he—" "He's alive, but he's requesting to speak with you. Says it's urgent. Tell him no." "Miss Belmont." "I said no. I'm done. Whatever Marcus wants, whatever game he's playing, I'm not interested." She hangs up. Her hands are shaking. Dominic looks up. "What was that?" "Marcus. He wants to talk to me. Are you going to—" "No." Elena sets down her phone. "I'm done with him. Done with revenge. Done with looking backward." She walks to Dominic, sits in his lap. "I just want to be happy. Is that okay?" He wraps his arms around her. "Yeah, that's more than okay." Her phone buzzes again. Another unknown number. Whatever Marcus wants, whatever truth or lie or manipulation he's offering. She has her company, her best friend. And Dominic. She has her life back, and this time She's not letting anyone take it, not even herself. The end. Let me ask you one final time. Would you have answers call? Drop your answer in the comments below, and if you made it this far. If this story grabbed you and didn't let go, and if you made it this subscribe, because on this channel, we just tell you the story. We just tell you the story. What it means. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.